Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Steve here from Liberty Tours. It's wonderful to have you here today to join us for our travelogue to the Rocky Mountaineers. First of all, I just want to tell you a little about Liberty Tours. Some of you will know us already, partly because you've dealt with us before, and partly because because you're either customers or you've been attending these travelogues over the last few weeks. My name's Steve. I'm the managing director. You'll get to see my face in a few minutes when I turn off the picture I've got on here. But I just want to really thank you for coming along and joining us, because I know that on a Saturday afternoon, even while we're in partial lockdown with coronavirus, there are plenty of other things that you could be doing. And so I really genuinely respect the fact that you've given your time to join us today. So I have a very special guest with me today, who I will introduce shortly, from Rocky Mountaineer. And here I am. I'm the good-looking one, and sitting alongside me there is Ellie, who's the even more good-looking one. Ellie is from Rocky Mountaineer. Hello, Ellie.
Hello, thank you for having me today, Steve, and to everyone who's attended the webinar today. My name's Ellie. I am a sales manager here in Australia for Rocky Mountaineer, and I'm pleased to be joining you all on the call today to tell you about our extraordinary product that we offer over in the Western Canadian Rockies.
I was just telling you about Liberty Tours a minute ago. So the thing on the screen tells you who we are. We are explorers. We love exploring the world, and it means everything to us. And this travelogue series is a way of us keeping travel dreams alive during this coronavirus lockdown. The really great thing about this now is that travelling is starting to be lifted, so we're starting to get domestic travel going in a number of, certainly in Australia and in other countries around the world. And in fact, up until now, I haven't been able to say this, but I'll be able to say this with the Rocky Mountaineer. If during this presentation you get as excited as some of the rest of us get, and you actually feel like booking, well, it isn't too early to start booking now, because the 2021 season will start in April, I believe, and Ellie will tell us about that in a minute. So you'll be able to contact us here at Liberty Tours, and we'll be able to take you through that. Okay. So, Ellie, tell us a bit about your wonderful company.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, I'm pleased to be here with you all today to tell you a little bit more about our beautiful product through the Canadian Rockies. So Rocky Mountaineer are actually celebrating their 30th year this year of travel through the Canadian Rockies. We take our guests on extraordinary journeys, on 3 different journeys that we offer through the Rockies, starting in Vancouver. It's a daylight train all-day service, and we offer an incredible service from start to finish. So as soon as you get on board with Rocky Mountaineer, you are 100% taken care of, and we take you through the wondrous and incredible scenery through to the Rockies and right through to a couple of different destinations, either through to Jasper or right through to Banff and Lake Louise. So today I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey into a little bit more detail in regards to what we offer, the different journeys and the service levels that we have. So Steve, if you wouldn't mind taking us through to that next page, and we'll play a little video for you all. A little video
to go. So as we're going there, you're talking about going through to Lake Louise. My understanding is that you can take the train journey in both directions.
That's correct. So the great thing about Rocky Mountaineer is that you can definitely travel eastbound or westbound with us. So whether you are flying into Vancouver and starting your journey in Vancouver and joining us there, or whether you are doing some travel through Canada and you may be joining us in Banff, Lake Louise, and traveling westbound back to Vancouver.
Great. Well, we've got a lovely little video here that goes for about 3 minutes. So let's just have a look. So I've just seen on my chat screen that one of our guests is Len, who lives in Sydney, and he's from the Darug land. Now, I'm not sure if I know the Darug is not one of the tribes from around Sydney, but certainly I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional owners of Australia, past, present, and emerging. And thank you very much. Let's continue now as we go on and have a look, and you can tell us a little more about these about this, Ellie.
Yes, thank you, Steve. So what makes Rocky Mountaineer extraordinary? So as soon as guests step on board our custom design coaches, they'll be whisked away with our pisciculous windows that showcase sky-high peaks, roaming wildlife, and shifting landscapes that are unparalleled. Relaxing and spacious seats, every need is catered to by our attentive onboard hosts. Complimentary snacks and beverages are served throughout. So as soon as you're on board, everything is taken care of in terms of food and beverages, which is fantastic. Each year, our executive chefs reimagine our menu, highlighting local ingredients such as Pacific salmon, Alberta beef, a lot of local wines from the local Okanagan region. Guests will experience all of this surrounded by a company of friends who will share stories for a lifetime to be, while captivating an incredible scenery out and about, exploring all that Rocky Mountaineer, the Canadian Rockies has to offer. So yeah, as soon as you're on board with Rocky Mountaineer, you're totally looked after and taken care of from start to finish.
Excellent. Oh wow, look at that food that we were just talking about there.
Just beautiful. Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, a day on board the train. So once guests arrive at the station, where the destination host will welcome them, provide assistance with their luggage and check them in, a train whistle will signify their boarding on Rocky Mountaineer, where they will then participate in a welcome toast with their train hosts and fellow travellers. Culinary delights, including full multi-course meals and gourmet snacks, will be served throughout the day, and they will enjoy complimentary alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. So pretty much as soon as you jump on board, if your desire is to have a Bailey's for breakfast, you certainly can do that. So yeah, as soon as you're on board with us, we will look after you. The hosts on board also will entertain you all throughout with lots of stories and making the landscape come alive and encouraging new friendships that will last forever. After your clients enjoy the luxury on board the train travel, they will arrive at our beautiful destinations, knowing that the night will be spent in the comfort of a hotel room. So when you travel with us, you don't stay on board the train. You get off in the destinations, and we put you up in lovely accommodation overnight. Okay, so once you start thinking about booking a holiday with Rocky Mountaineer, there's a couple of different steps that you can take when you're planning your itinerary with us. So first and foremost is to have a look at our different rail options that we offer, and then choosing our service levels. So a little bit later on in the presentation, I will take you through what those service levels and routes look like. And then thirdly, your season. So Rocky Mountaineer, because we just travel during the daylight hours, we travel from spring through to autumn. So just choosing between those times of year to travel with us. And then lastly, of course, the package. So not only do we offer the train journeys, we also can package that up with some lovely pre and post touring and accommodation to combine with your rail journey. So if we jump onto this page here, so this will give you a really good overview of what where our rail journeys go on the map. So you can see there on this particular image, it just gives you a zoomed in image of where we're located in Western Canada. So hopefully you guys can see that well enough. It might be a little bit small, but all of our train journeys begin in Vancouver and finishing in the Rockies. So if we just want to jump, there's another, if you could jump to the next screen for me, please, Steve.
Done.
Thank you. Brilliant. So as you can see on this map here, I just wanted to sort of explain a little bit more detail of those 3 rail journeys. So our first passage to the west, which is the red line, which goes Vancouver, Kamloops through to Lake Louise, Banff. Then we have the journey through the clouds, which is our blue line. So the key difference there is that we do Vancouver through to Kamloops, but we finish up in Jasper. And then lastly, we have our rainforest to Gold Rush. So that one there is actually our longest rail journey. So that one takes people up through Whistler, through to Quesnel, which is the Gold Rush region, and then back down through, finishing into Jasper.
So now we can start talking about a bit of detail about these various journeys.
Yes, so first passage to the west, so I'll just get into a little bit more detail what first passage to the west offers. So this is certainly one of our most popular rail journeys that people tend to go if they're a first time traveller with us. So the first passage to the west, going through to Kamloops, we overnight. From Vancouver, sort of about an hour out of Vancouver, you're sort of going through all of this beautiful lush scenery, and then that scenery starts to change again. And then we come in and it changes into a little bit more mountains and wilderness, and then we overnight in Kamloops. So that day on the train is usually, it's about a 10 to 12 hour day on the train, so you do get a full day in of taking in all of the scenery and experiencing our culinary and beverage service on board. And then we overnight and put you in some lovely accommodation in Kamloops, which is all taken care of in terms of the luggage transfers. And then the next morning, it's a nice, bright and early start, and you board the train, and we head off through a little bit more into, as we sort of go further into the Rockies. And that scenery really starts to change. There's a couple of really famous, iconic landscapes as you go along. So you've got the spiral tunnels, which is a really, really famous set of tunnels, which is on one of the oldest railways in Canada. You've got the last spike, which is when they were building the railway. It's one of the oldest tracks in Canada. And then as you come through, you sort of get closer and closer to that Lake Louise, Banff region, and those mountains, they just start to get bigger and bigger. And then you have the option when you're on this particular route as to whether you'd like to finish your journey in Lake Louise or Banff. So there is that option. There's about an hour's difference, 45 minutes between getting off in Lake Louise or having that option to get off in Banff, and that's entirely up to you when you make that booking with us, or depending on what package you book.
The scenery around this part of the world is just stunning, isn't it?
It is breathtaking. Certainly, the Canadian Rockies, when I first went there, was just breathtaking. The mountains, until you sort of surrounded by those mountains, it's quite hard to, it's incredible to comprehend how big and beautiful they are when you're there. So certainly, definitely one of the most popular rail journeys that we offer.
Well, in fact, I think it's much more than that. It's one of the most incredible and famous rail journeys in the world. It's on so many people's bucket lists.
Yes, it's definitely a bucket list item. We have many guests, who it's their dream to be able to experience the Rockies through Rocky Mountaineer. So, we get to places that you just simply can't get to by car. So it really is some incredibly untouched scenery.
Yeah.
So we're just on the first passage to the west. So that's just sort of highlighting some of those some of the highlights when you're on this particular, the red line. So the Vermilion Lakes, which is prior to entering Banff, Stony Creek Bridge, which is a 200 metre long truss arch bridge, and Castle Mountain as well. So those are just a couple of the highlights that you'll see when you are on this particular rail journey with us.
Yes. So, all right, then let's press on then and get on to the journey through the clouds.
Yes. Wonderful. So Journey Through the Clouds is our second rail journey, so our blue line. Another really, really magic journey through the Rockies, so a little bit different. So you've still got your Vancouver through to Kamloops. And then finishing up in Jasper. So the key difference here to the first passage to the west is that we then divert from Kamloops, and we take our passengers up to Jasper, which is a gorgeous little, a little bit more of a sleepy sort of town, quite different to your Banff Lake Louise, but extraordinary scenery. Leaving Kamloops up through to Jasper, the mountains are just incredible. So there's a couple of really key beautiful highlights that you'll see along the Pyramid Falls. So very Rocky Mountaineer get so close to the waterfalls that if you're on the viewing platform, you can almost feel the water splashing and touching, splashing onto your face. So it is really, you feel like you're really in the wilderness.
Wow.
When you're on board. So it's quite spectacular. And then one of the really big key highlights on this one is that we go past Mount Robson, which is actually the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah. And in fact, one of the people watching the webinar just dropped us a message to say, my mum absolutely loved it.
Oh, beautiful. I'm so glad to hear that we've got some people on here today that have had a Rocky Mountaineer experience. It certainly is breathtaking and incredible. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. So this one, the Gold Rush.
Yes, so our last but not least, the Rainforest to Gold Rush, our green line. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation, this is our longest rail journey. So this is definitely a great one if you want more time on the train as well with us. So this is a 3-day journey. So we have 2 overnight stops. So starting, of course, in Vancouver, we overnight in Whistler, and depending on whether you go east or westbound with us, you do actually get a half day in Whistler to hop off the train and explore, and then we overnight in Whistler for the night. So depending on which way you go, it's either a morning or it's an afternoon that you also get time at leisure to explore the beautiful snow town of Whistler, which is obviously very famous for the ski holidays. And then from Whistler, we take you up through to Quesnel. So as you sort of start leaving Whistler, the scenery really starts to change on this particular route. It's really taking our customers up through to the Gold Rush region of British Columbia. So it's really quite a unique and different journey than our other 2 rail routes that we offer. And then from Quesnel, we overnight our passengers in Quesnel, and then the next morning we are en route back down through to Jasper. So again, that 3rd day is really changing again from that Gold Rush region through to into the Rockies, where those peaks start to get really, really big. And as you come into Jasper, one of my favorite parts about finishing in Jasper on Rocky Mountaineer is that the train actually comes right into the Jasper Township. So it's a really, really unique experience.
And one of the nice things for us to remember is that if people go right at the beginning, or I'll start a different way, Rocky Mountaineer only operates during the summer months, or put it the other way, it doesn't operate in the snowiest time of winter.
That's right.
But of course, if people are at the very beginning or the very end of the Rocky Mountaineer season, they may still well have the opportunity to catch a bit of snow in the slopes in Whistler, or at the other end around Lake Louise or Jasper.
Definitely, and certainly with the different seasons, it can be quite incredible, the changing of scenery, particularly at the beginning of the season. It's still quite snowed a lot of snow on the mountains, and a lot of the lakes are still frozen over, which is really, really unique. And then, as you said there, Steve, yeah, at the end of the season as well, when the snow starts to fall. So it is really unique to be able to go through the Rockies and still see, you know, those beautiful snow-capped mountains.
So how do people do a circle line? Is that to do the long one through, or it can be either of the ones from Jasper and then the ones through to Banff, is it?
That's right. So with the Circle Journey, this is a really, really popular product for our passengers that want to have more time on the train with us. So with the Circle Journeys, it's combining two of our journeys in one. So the options they have is they could do the Rainforest to Gold Rush and then combine that with either the Red Line, our first passage to the west, or combining it with the Journey Through the Clouds. So there's a couple of different Circle Journeys that you can do, but ultimately it gives people more time on the train with us as well, to experience more Rocky Mountaineer hospitality.
Sure. And one of the things that I like about Rocky Mountaineer is that you have a whole range of itineraries available to people, and so if it really does tickle someone's fancy at some stage, then we'll be able to talk them through all of the options and put together something that really suits people's needs.
That's right. So certainly that's correct, Steve. So you can tailor a lot of our rail journeys to suit your customers' needs, which is the great thing. But yeah, so if we wanted to sort of duck in a little bit more in regards to our rail services that we offer on board the train, so we can delve into that. So in 2000
Silverleaf.
Yes, yep.
What's Silverleaf all about?
So Silverleaf is our luxurious glass dome coach. We have 2 hosts on board in our Silverleaf, delicious food and beverage served throughout. We have the glass dome, which goes halfway up up onto the curvatures, and then it is it's custom designed. It's a single level coach. And all of your meals and beverages are all included from start to finish. It's a beautiful product to experience through the Rockies. The great thing is you've got your storytelling hosts on board that are with you throughout to give you that extra experience when you're on board the train with us.
Very nice. So, oh yes, so I see here what you mean about the glass going over halfway.
That's right. So with the Silverleaf, you still get those, you know, beautiful. You've got the beautiful panorama windows on the side there, and then you do have that half dome, is what I like to call it. It's a sort of a half dome in the Silverleaf service.
And what about onboard catering for people in Silverleaf?
Yes, so when you travel with us in Silverleaf, we offer a range of different meals for our breakfast and our lunch service on board. So it's usually between about 2 to 3 different options for breakfast, and the same for about 2 or 3 options for lunch. And the meals are served at your seat. It is still full table service in terms of it being, the meals are served on plates and cutlery, so you still have that full experience as the meals are served to your seat.
Wonderful. So as we go, so Gold Leaf is your premium product.
That's right. So the Gold Leaf is the iconic full glass dome windows that a lot of people will see quite often. They'll when they think of Rocky Mountaineer, they'll hear about and see photos of our very famous gold leaf carriages. So a couple of the key differences with the gold leaf service. So it is a bi-level carriage. So we do have a separate dining area downstairs, and then our passengers are sat upstairs in that glass dome carriage. So with the glass dome, the domes sort of go right up to the curvature of the ceiling, and then really the only thing that is not glass, it's just holding the light fixtures together. So it is incredibly panorama up the top there. It's one of the great things about being in the gold leaf service is that when you're in that bi level, you sort of are almost above the tree lines in a way. So it really is quite an extraordinary experience.
And you have an outdoor viewing platform here as well, I believe.
That's right, Steve. So in the gold leaf service, one of the really special parts of being on a gold leaf is that you do have the outdoor viewing platform. So in the outdoor viewing platform, we can have about 10 to 15 people at a time out there, and it's just having that opportunity to get those unobstructed photographs and being able to go outside and get that beautiful fresh Canadian air when you're on the train with us. So it is a really unique selling point to our gold leaf service.
Yes.
Now in the gold leaf as well, we do have a full culinary experience on board. So when you have the meals on board in gold leaf, you do actually sit downstairs in a full a la carte dining carriage with quite a few different meal options to sort of tickle anybody's taste buds, and then of course free flowing beverage service throughout.
Beautiful. Oh, this picture is the viewing platform we were talking about a minute ago.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one there. So that is really quite a good photo just to sort of give you an idea of what that looks like. So I think which page have we got? There's another. If you jump into page, oh no, you're on page 27. Yes. So yeah, definitely when you're outside, you've got those unobstructed photographs. You've got the fresh air blowing through your hair. It really is, it's unique to be able to jump out there. And of course, if you're on our journey through the clouds, you might be lucky enough to be out there and have a splash of some Pyramid Falls, you know, as we go by. Yeah.
I think that lady's face there says it all.
she certainly looks like she's having a beautiful time. So, and that's what we want, you know, we want you guys to have an extraordinary experience with us.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So yes, so the silver leaf and the gold leaf are two really beautiful products, and then of course from there we would then look at how we would package that up. So once you've sort of got an idea of which rail journey you would like to travel with, then we've just gone through the two different service levels, and now we can take a look at the extensions of that and some of the other products that we also offer to package up with our beautiful train journeys.
And hello to Sandra, who's one of our long-time clients now. So Sandra says, "Hi Steve, it's Sandra. Wonderful journey which I've experienced." So we've got someone else on the Travelogue here today who's absolutely loved it.
Brilliant. Glad to hear that you've travelled with us, Sandra. It's always good to have more people who, you know, have experienced our beautiful product and can talk about it to their friends and family.
And so where do they stay? We can see here some of the hotels they can stay in.
Yes. So on this page here, it just gives you a little bit of a overview of some of our key properties, and depending on the service level that you're traveling with us on, we have a variety of different hotel partners that we work with. So as you can see there, you've got the beautiful and of course very famous Fairmont Chateaux. So that's the famous hotel that's located on Lake Louise. So an incredible experience if you can to stay there on your journey. And then we've also got the Chateau Jasper, which again is another incredibly beautiful Fairmont property. You've got the Brewster's Mountain Lodge in Banff, and then we've got the Sheraton. That photograph there is of the Sheraton Wall, which is again another famous hotel in Vancouver.
In fact, earlier today, through the marvels of technology, I actually spoke with someone from the Fairmont Chateaux, and I couldn't get her on live because of time difference, and she'll be in bed now, or or should be in bed now because it's probably after midnight there, 2 o'clock in the morning. So through the wonders of technology, I'd now like to introduce you to. Oops, there's a play button. Oops, play button. Let me get this to go. Jennifer Rose.
Okay.
So Jennifer Rose, welcome to Liberty Tours Travelogue to the Rocky Mountains. Now you're marketing manager for leisure, and
Yes.
so just tell me a little bit about yourself and how long that you've been with Fairmont Chateaux.
Oh, well, if I told you how long I've been here, that would reveal my age. So I don't know if I want to do that.
Could have been very, very young.
Well, I've been lucky enough to live in Banff now for almost 30 years. And I started at the Fairmont Banff Springs. I've done many different positions there, from starting actually in housekeeping, front desk, reservations, and then in 2002, I moved to the sales team. And then we actually took over the other properties. So I have become a regional sales director. So I manage now the 4 properties in the mountain region. So that includes the Fairmont Banff Springs, Fairmont Chateaux Lake Louise, Fairmont Chateau Whistler, and Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. So I'm very lucky.
The Fairmont Chateaux are part of the Accor group, aren't they?
Yes, we are.
So that means that you've got sister properties such as the Savoy in London.
That's right. Yes, I've been lucky enough to stay at the Savoy.
Have you?
We have a lot of Accor hotels in Australia as well. I also stayed at the Swiss Hotel in Sydney. That's an Accor property.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So why don't we get right to the point and start having a look around some of your properties?
That would be great. Fairmont Lake Louise, Chateau Lake Louise, is located right on the shores of Lake Louise. So we're very lucky because we were pretty much the first ones there. Lots of history with the railway. We were Canadian Pacific Hotel way back. So we started off as a railway hotel. So we still have lots of customers that come through from the train.
Yes.
So we were the first ones there. We started as a small cabin on the lake, and now we are a 550 room hotel, but still on the lake. So we definitely have the best location in the area. One thing that makes us unique is our location, and you can just leave our back door and it's full of adventure from there. So our hotels originally, oh no.
So who's that joining us?
That is my little French bulldog, Roger. He's named after Roger Federer, who you might know.
Oh, yes.
I'm a tennis fan.
Everyone knows and loves Roger.
Yeah, Roger, stop. Sorry. That's the joys of working from home, is you have these unexpected interruptions.
Yes.
But I am lucky enough actually to take Roger into the office sometimes. We're dog friendly in Canada, which is I think a bit different than Australia.
No, in fact, our head of public relations is a little boy called Jerry, and
okay.
he's part Shih Tzu and part Maltese Terrier.
Nice.
He does both. He does both public relations and security.
Very good. Well, and that's one of the unique things we have within our hotels is each of our hotels has a hotel dog. It's not unfortunately Roger. He's not one of the hotel dogs, but we do have hotel dogs at each of our properties. So yeah, it's kind of nice for the hotels to have hotel dogs, because a lot of a lot of people when they're traveling, they leave their pets at home.
Yes.
And really enjoy taking the dogs out for walks. So you can actually book the dogs and take them out for walks around the property, which is quite nice. You can see in the background, this is Lake Louise and some canoeing, some canoers there. We're very lucky with our location in Lake Louise because we were the first ones there. We opened in 1890. And we were opened by Canadian Pacific. The first, I guess the first log cabin that was built right on the lake was built by the Canadian Pacific hotels. And so a lot of our guests, our first guests were guests that were traveling on the train. Yes. And would come and stay with us. So from that small log cabin on the lake, we've become a 550 room hotel, still on the lake, still with the beautiful views. And then just out our back door is full of adventure from canoeing, you can see here, but some great hikes. We've got a great mountain adventure program. And then inside, of course, we've got some great dining options. So what our unique properties really are is our location, though, I think.
Yes. So how many restaurants do you have or eating opportunities do you have in Lake Louise?
We have 6 different restaurants within the hotel, and it's a bit of a mix. We've got some fine dining options available. We have a great gastro pub. We have a Swiss restaurant, which is really popular in the winter season, where you have a really nice cheese fondue, just delicious. And then, of course, we've got some great Canadian cuisine, some great, Alberta is really well known for our beef. So it's a great place to come and have a nice steak.
Very nice. So I believe that that Chateau Lake Louise is actually the only hotel on the lake itself.
It is. That's why we're so lucky, is because we were the first ones there. So if you're coming to Lake Louise, that's where you really want to stay. A lot of people will travel to Lake Louise for the day just to see the views and see the lake. But the ones that are truly lucky are our guests, because they really get the lake to themselves in the evening and yes. in the early morning. So you can go and have a really nice dinner and then go for a beautiful walk around the lake after dinner. We've got a great mountain heritage program where we have guides that can take our guests out for hikes in the area. So they do everything from half-day hikes, full-day hikes. In the winter, we've got snowshoeing, cross-country skiing. But in the summer, it's really nice to go out with one of the guides, because they are just a wealth of knowledge. They know so much about the area. They tell great little stories. Every time I go out with them, I learn something new.
Yes. I can see why so many travelers choose to combine different sorts of travels, and they'll stay for a while in the area. Perhaps if it's in the winter, they'll go on a ski holiday. Of course, in the winter, people can't do the Rocky Mountaineer because it doesn't go during the snow these days.
No, it does start quite early though. There are departures in April that you can still probably see some of the snow. And I mean, right now we get regular updates from the hotel to see if the lake is thawing. And you know, the staff usually have bets on when the lake will thaw completely, but it usually doesn't thaw until early June. So right. If you have people that want to see the snow, it is a really nice time to come, is in April or May.
Very nice. Well, that actually works very well for a lot of our clients too, because a lot of our clients choose to travel during the shoulder seasons.
Right.
it means that the levels of bookings in the hotels and other places are a little lower. They can achieve better rates. The flights are better priced. In fact, the biggest part that our clients find, or we find that putting together packages for our clients, is the thing that makes the most difference to the pricing is the price of the airfares.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And so if we can send them in the shoulder seasons, but both they have beautiful colours, either because it's spring or fall, and there's the colours to be seen. But they also get that mix of experiences, and for a very nice price, and avoid school holidays in many instances, which is great for many of our clients.
Spring is probably one of my favorite times in the area, because you still get that beautiful snowy mountain. So you get the white peaks and then the blue sky. And it's just, it's gorgeous. So down in the village and the town site, you don't have all the snow, but you still have the snow in the mountains.
Yes.
And it's just gorgeous.
What I'm going to do now is I am going to show a video from someone who's actually worked at one of your hotels for quite some time.
The feeling at the Banff Springs when I see it again is this marvelous carefree time I had as a young woman. And how lovely it is to go back to that time. It was kind of a love affair with this hotel. My name is Carol Boyer Shipley. I was a chambermaid at the Banff Springs in 1955. What was different about the Banff Springs back in '55 was that it was a summer hotel. It was open to guests in July and August. The summer was beyond exciting. I mean, first of all, you're with kids from all across Canada. There's lots of opportunity to dance and party. And I did play the piano. So at first, I was playing for the other kids to dance to. We had very strict training on how to make a bed. Our housekeeper had us all gather around, and she showed us how to miter the corners, and then we all had to practice. So from that time on, that's how I make a bed. The chambermaids were housed on the 10th floor of the hotel. It was no problem to go up the 10 flights of stairs. In fact, I remember running up the 10 flights of stairs. Not so today. We had this stunning view of Cascade, and even a balcony we could go out on. I loved looking at Cascade. I think it sort of sets this town of Banff, doesn't it? And I think these railroad hotels are something very special in Canada. But I think the Banff Springs is the most special of all, nestled in the mountains the way it is. It's Canada's castle. It's so beautiful. When I think back about the summer of '55, it was the most exciting summer of my life.
So Jen, that little piece from the chambermaid was absolutely engrossing, and it truly makes me want to be there. I just want to thank you for showing us around your hotels, and I don't know if you've got anything to say to our viewers before we finish up.
Well, I just hope that we can welcome back some Australian clients someday soon.
We're all starting to do our bookings. Yes. People are all starting to do that, consider when they can book now and getting ready for next year. And I'm sure that we'll all be with you sometime soon. Wasn't that just stunning, Ellie? Oh, Ellie, you still got your microphone off. There you go.
There I am.
Yes, there you are, back with us.
No, that was just breathtaking, and the video, it was very, very inspiring. I loved it. So fantastic to hear a bit more from the Fairmont properties as well. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Fairmont properties, who are a very significant hotel partner with Rocky Mountaineer. So yeah, we'll jump into the destinations. And Steve, how am I doing for time here?
Oh, you're doing just fine.
Just fine.
We're unfortunately we're not a TV show, so we don't have to break for the news anytime soon.
Wonderful. So I'll just run through the some of the key destinations that we cover, and yeah, and then any questions at the end. And I think that's yeah. Alrighty. So Steve, if you could jump to the next page for me.
Beyond Banff.
Please.
Okay. Next one is this one.
Oh, did you have the Banff up? Sorry.
Yep, I had Banff up. There was that picture there.
My apologies. All right, so yes, Banff, of course, very, very famous. Mineral hot springs, legendary backdrop. It's the castle of Banff is a tourist hotspot. So Canada's first UNESCO protected park as well. So anyone visiting the Canadian Rockies is a must-see to visit Banff. It's just an incredible little township. It's got a real fantastic vibe going for it when you're actually in Banff itself, and lots of really great things to do and see when you're there as well.
And here's one of the things that people can do while they're there. There's a helicopter ride over the Rockies. Yes,
very, very iconic. Quite a few of our packages as well do include a 20 to 30 minute helicopter ride, so that our passengers can get that aerial view of the Rockies there. Alrighty, so of course Lake Louise, I think very, very famous. Everyone's sort of heard of Lake Louise. It is an incredibly iconic destination in the Rockies, a very, very pristine and highly photographed place. It is beautiful once you're there. It's got just the most incredible backdrop. And there's all sorts of different little activities you can do there as well. So if you're paying a visit to Lake Louise, you can go and visit the Fairmont Chateaux. You can have a beautiful high tea at the Fairmont, or you can take a walk right around the lake to the other end with just a wealth of photo opportunities everywhere you go. But yeah, definitely a must-see in the Canadian Rockies. And depending on what time you travel with us as well, Lake Louise can look quite different. So in the spring, if you're on some of our early departures, the lake is actually still frozen over, which is really quite a unique sight to see. So that photograph that you see there is probably about coming into summertime, so there's still got those beautiful white cap mountains in the backdrop there, but you've got that incredibly blue aqua blue water. So yeah, absolutely breathtaking place to visit on your journey through the Canadian Rockies.
It's stunning. And as people are going through this, if you have any questions you'd like to ask us, either about Rocky Mountaineer or the hotels or the Rockies in general, just drop them into the Q&A box. If you don't want to ask any questions, that's just fine as well, if you just want to sit back and enjoy the ride. But remember that you will need the Q&A box at the end of this session, because someone is going to win a lovely coffee table book. But we're going to ask you a question, and you'll be able to drop your answer into the Q&A box a little later. Oops, we're just going to talk about Jasper first, aren't we? So
yes, Jasper, another one of beautiful little quiet mountain town filled with wildlife, restaurants, adventure. It's definitely quite unique in the fact that it's great for people who are seeking a little bit more wilderness and a little bit more untouched as well. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation, when you travel on Rocky Mountaineer into Jasper, our train goes right into the township. So it's a really, really unique experience. when you're in Jasper, you can have, elk can come out and just sort of be in the township. It's just such a unique little untouched area. So it's a really great spot to visit if you're traveling through the Rockies with us.
Wow. So Vancouver is either your start point or your end point for these journeys.
That's right, Steve. So, of course, Vancouver, our main city, our main port. Definitely, we recommend if you are doing a journey with Rocky Mountaineer, make sure you give yourself a couple of days on either side to experience Vancouver's sights. They've got some amazing, for a bustling cosmopolitan city, they've got lots of really, really great sights to see while you're there. So make sure you give yourself about 2 to 3 days to explore Vancouver City as well.
That's a good hint. I must say, we'll talk about other things people can do a little later, but I must say with that cruise ship in the front there, it reminds me that quite a few of our clients tend to combine the Rocky Mountaineer with a cruise up to Alaska through the Inside Passage. That's an incredible journey for people.
Certainly it is, Steve, and thank you for mentioning. With a lot of our rail journeys, 80% actually of our passengers will combine a Rocky Mountaineer with a cruise up the Inside Passage. So Vancouver is
very high figure.
Yes, very, very popular to do two very iconic journeys. So yeah, certainly Vancouver is great for that in terms of an entry port.
Whistler is a ski resort, really.
That's right. So with Whistler, our Rainforest to Gold Rush, that rail journey, so the green line that we mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation, that our train stops in Whistler. So it is home to the 2010 Olympic Winter Games, and of course it's a very, very prime spot for your winter holidays and your ski holidays. But certainly, actually, I was just in Whistler last year in the summer, and it's also a fantastic resort town to visit in summer as well. It's a massive hotspot for mountain biking in the summer. So,
wow.
Yeah, so it really is a versatile little township, and even in the summertime, there's some fantastic sights to see if you like bushwalking, if you like going out to nice pubs and restaurants. Fantastic for that as well. And of course, if you're traveling with Rocky Mountaineer, you do get that little bit of time when you're in Whistler as well to do a little bit of your own exploring. Wonderful. So we've got Calgary. Yep. So of course, Calgary is our main entry port if you are coming into the Rockies first. So you can fly into Calgary, and then we do offer various different packages where we can buy a transfer from Calgary to get you into the Rockies, where you can then join Rocky Mountaineer from either Banff, Lake Louise, or right through to Jasper.
Here in Kamloops, the scenery is so very different to other parts of the tour.
Yes, so Kamloops is quite different to the rest of the scenery on when you're traveling with Rocky, but certainly it's a bustling little city, a little township. And when you overnight in Kamloops, there's some great restaurants, local pubs, and serene walks that you can do with your overnight visit when we overnight in Kamloops on our rail journeys.
Oh, the colour. Beautiful.
All right, so Quesnel, so that's the little mining town that we spoke about on the Rainforest to Gold Rush journey. It's a very old time charm little township. We overnight there, and you have a little bit of time to do some exploring around this quaint little gold mining town. Alrighty. Okay, so that sort of sums up the main destinations that you visit if you're doing a Rocky Mountaineer rail journey with us. And then we'll just delve into basically when to travel. So, of course, with Rocky Mountaineer, we are an all daylight service. So we just travel spring through to autumn. So just jumping into spring there. Spring's actually my favorite time to visit the Canadian Rockies. There's a couple of reasons for that, but in in that April-May period, you still have a lot of snow on the mountain, so that's really unique. The bears are coming out of hibernation, so they're really quite active, you know, looking for their food. So absolutely spectacular time to be visiting the Rockies. And then we'll jump into summer. So summer is definitely our most popular time. So not only for international tourists, but also, of course, for the domestic market as well. Of course, summer, all the wildlife is out and active. It's really starting to warm up. So you're starting to get more of those 20 to 25 degree days. This is not so much winter willies that you'll be wearing. And then lastly, we've got our autumn season. So again, offering something different of those beautiful changing colours. And again, you've still got the wildlife, they're still very active, but offering something different again. And being in the Canadian Rockies in autumn with the maple leaves is just incredibly beautiful.
And I'm guessing that people can see things other than trees and snow while they're away.
Yes, certainly. I mean, Canada, one of the most incredible things that I find about visiting Canada is the wealth of wildlife that you will see, and they're just out in the wild. Last year I was lucky enough to see a bear in my first 24 hours of being in Canada. I was very, very excited. It was actually this one was a black bear and a cub, and it's just breathtaking. It's just incredible to see these amazing big beautiful animals out in the wild in their own habitat. You'll see eagles, you'll see a lot of elk. If you're lucky, you'll see a mountain goat or a bighorn. So there is just so much wildlife to see. If you're a bit of an avid wildlife spotter, it's definitely a fantastic place to visit. And that is throughout all of the Canadian Rockies. And then, of course, if you're on the train with us, your chances, we don't guarantee it, but the chances of seeing a bear is very, very high because we're going through those areas that are just so much more untouched. Alrighty, so just sort of wrapping up here in terms of what we offer as a package. So of course, once you've sort of got it nutted down in terms of which Rocky Mountaineer journey you'd like to do, we do package up a lot of the really iconic sightseeing around that as well. So we do partner with a lot of local tour operators to offer a variety of different activities, scenic gondola rides, glacier hikes, and scenic helicopter tours as well. That photo there is our one of the coaches that we use, Brewster Tours. So that's a local company based out of Banff, and they do a lot of our really popular sightseeing tours once you're in the Canadian Rockies there. We do offer as well a self-drive option. So once you've done the Rocky Mountaineer with us, you can jump off and hire a car and sort of, if you're a little bit more of an independent traveler and you like to get behind the wheel, we do offer quite a few different varieties of self-drive packages as well.
I don't know why anyone would do that. I'd much rather be looking at the scenery than the line in the middle of the road. But I understand that some people do it, and if they want it, I'm happy to arrange it for them.
That's right, and the great thing is there is so many different options to meet clients' needs.
Yes.
And then of course we mentioned just earlier is matching up a Rocky Mountaineer with a cruise excursion as well. So lots and lots of different cruise journeys do match up really, really nicely with our departures on the Rocky Mountaineer.
Yes, there are a number of cruise lines going out of Vancouver.
Yes. Yep.
And so tell us what you have. You've got new for 2021. What have you got in line for your packages?
Yep, so we've got 2 new packages which are all available for booking now. So firstly, a new package that we've got there, which is our Journey Through the Clouds Glacier Explorer. So it's a 7-night, 8-day journey, Vancouver, Kamloops through to Jasper, either on the Gold Leaf, of course, or the Silver Leaf service. The package includes 7 nights accommodation, and various key sightseeing activities as well, like the Vancouver Lookout, your national park passes, your Jasper Park motorcycle tour, of course the iconic Icefields Parkway sightseeing, which will take you up onto the Athabasca Glacier, a morning glacier skywalk. So lots and lots of great little inclusions there as well. It's a beautiful little package to experience our Journey Through the Clouds rail journey.
And on your first passage to the west, this is your original and most popular tour, isn't it? What's this extra bit that you've added on to this?
That's right. So the first passage to the west is definitely one of our most popular, because it's finishing in that Banff Lake Louise. This particular package has an add-on to Kananaskis. It's a 7-night package, 8 days. Of course, you've got 7 nights accommodation included and some really key sightseeing as well. So we do include your transfers to and from Banff into Calgary as well. So when you finish up on this particular package, you do have your transfers included. It includes a tour out to Lake Louise and Marine Lake. So 2 really, really iconic, of course, the Lake Louise and Marine Lake, 2 very iconic lakes to visit. But beautiful little package if you're looking to do our first passage to the west. And then, of course, we've just launched our first promo for 2021. So it's called our All Aboard promo into 2021. And this one here is 4 things for free. So basically, if you are booking a package of 7 nights, 8 days, 7 nights, 8 days or more, you get 2 free hotel nights, a free transfer and a free dinner. Which is a really, really fantastic offer. So that is our promo that is out at the moment. So if you're starting to get a little bit of ideas about what you want to do in 2021, now is a fantastic time to start thinking about it. We do have this offer, which will be available for quite a couple of months still. So please, by all means, get in touch with Steve to find out more information if you're interested to learn more about our All Aboard promo.
And I think it's a very good time for people to start booking now, because travel restrictions are being lifted. The season doesn't start until next April. And as you were pointing out, the promotional prices are on at the moment. So it's a great time for people to have a talk to us and get in there. Now we're getting towards very close to the end of our presentation. We've got a couple more things to say. But the thing is, it's time for us to give away this beautiful, beautiful book from Lonely Planet called Amazing Train Journeys. So if someone wants to get on to the Q&A thing, first person to get on there and tell us which mountain ranges we've been talking about today, will win our wonderful prize. So I realise it's a difficult question, but I'm sure that there's someone there who can win that for us, and I'll tell you in a moment who's won. So, as we're just before we finish up with you, Ellie, I want to tell you about what's coming up next. We are doing these travelogues every Saturday afternoon. Next week, we're going to do some ski fields. We'll actually initially be talking about Australian ski fields, and also possibly, I have to confirm with our presenter, I must confess, whether we're going to do just Australia or whether we're going to do Australia and New Zealand. After that, we're going back to my home state of Tasmania for a look around Tasmania and the wonderful tours that will be available there once the state opens up. And after that, we're going to have a look at some of the other adventures in New Zealand. So I just want to tell you that we have a winner. We have Reiko. Reiko is someone that we know very well, who lives in Sydney, and Reiko, we will be sending this wonderful tabletop book of Amazing Train Journeys. So congratulations. And so if people want to contact us, There are some contact details on the screen there. Our Facebook page is called Fun with Liberty Tours, and we've actually got a group that people can join called My Holidays Abroad, where lots of people get on, and when people get on to My Holidays Abroad, it gives them an opportunity to share their own holiday experiences, their own photos, to chat with other people about suggestions of where to go, what they might like to see or do, and just network with fellow travellers. So that's a fantastic thing to do. Ellie, I would love to just thank you very much for being with us today and showing us all of those things that people can enjoy on Rocky Mountaineer.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's been an absolute pleasure to share with you all the extraordinary Rocky Mountaineer product and what the Western Canadian Rockies has to offer.
Perfect. So I think most people have just been sitting back and someone asked, what are the mountains we're talking about? I think that person is going to have to wait until we post the replay of this travelogue. So goodbye to Ellie, goodbye to everyone else who's been with us today. We look forward to hearing from you soon and getting ready to travel Australia and travel the world. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.